I know this is not the best shot, but a quick to share my pain. I lost my boosted board, a brand new boosted board. By the way, that's my Bluetooth speaker challenge playing in the background. I'll a little bit, but the traveling and I conference that I was on. The conference ran a little bit longer than I planned on, so off of the conference call before I got to my destination, but I ended up being on it at the destination. So I'm on the call, and the guy's like, "Hey, this is the last stop. You got to get off the train." Quickly ran and just grabbed all my stuff. Well, not all my stuff, obviously. Dashed out of the train, and I had a connecting train. Got on that one, and just as I got on it, I'm like, "Things." And sure enough, at that moment, the minute I said that, I looked around instantly. The answer is yes, I should have more things. What those more things should be, the brand new boosted board. Hey, Damian Adams. I don't think so, man. I put in a report. They're supposed to let me know. That was the final stop. So in theory, it's a best case scenario. It was the final stop. I was the last person to get off the train because I didn't realize it was the last stop. So I'm on the conference call. I'm talking, and so people already had gotten off. So the idea of someone getting off the train and like, oh, there's a booster board, let me grab it. That's hard to happen because again, the train was pretty much empty by the time I. And then that's the last stop. So the train would have went in the train yard. So the only person to steal it would be the employees of the train company. That could happen, right? That could happen. So we don't know what the results are going to be. We'll see. They're supposed to call me back. I mean, if I don't get it back, I'll just have to buy a new one. It's just a little bit annoying. People think because you don't care about losing money, like I said, while it's not hurting me, I'm, oh man, what am I going to do now? To spend, $1,600 or whatever on something for a few days and then to just lose it like that really sucks. Now, is a zoom and a boom boom. Okay, there we go. All right, before I end the live stream, I just wanted to let you guys know I'll be doing some live streams this weekend. Obviously, I am not in New York. I hop around. So I have a little bit more space and do some cool stuff. Like one of the things I want to do is with the Mavic for sure. I'm going to be showing you guys the winner of my competition. I did a competition sort of for the most powerful Bluetooth speaker that's sort of portable. So this is the one I ended up going with, and I'll do a quick little demo. This is the JBL. We'll do a full test on this tomorrow that I have found. Now there's another speaker that's really cool. You guys can't even see it. There's another speaker that's really cool, but it's no longer in production. I tried very much to get it. I couldn't get it. This is the JBL Extreme, and this speaker is awesome. So this is a very, very large room that I'm in, and I had this thing at very low volume, like 30% or something, and it was loud enough to entire room. I'm sure you can hear the echo. Obviously not loud, but music at a sort of a lower volume, like maybe in a doctor's office or something, they're playing music. It's not supposed to be like loud and in your face. It's just kind of background music. So for low level music, at 30% volume, it was enough to easily cover this whole area. And the bass response, let me give you guys a little test. So on this side of the room, let's put it on the counter over here. Give you guys a sample. Okay, that's max volume on the speaker itself, but I'm gonna crank up the on the phone. So we're gonna go all the way on the other side of the room. I have the volume super low, and I can still hear it over here. It's very low, obviously, but I can still see. It's kind of dark. I'll do a better video in the daytime, but I guess I'll walk over there just so you guys can see. After I'm gonna walk over there just to so you guys can see where the speaker is in relation to where we are. But I got the Galaxy S8 here. Volume, you guys can hear. So I'll tell you what level it's at right now. I'm not gonna go too loud, but at %. Let me change the track. And think about it, it has great bass response as well. And the high end or the highs are pretty crisp as well. You get a nice I can definitely hear the bass across the room. So I'm not gonna crank it up too loud, but definitely enough to do the whole room. So I'm gonna walk over there so you guys can see. Okay, so you saw where I was standing. That's where the speaker is. So you see that's like way over there. Now I'm gonna take you over there. You're listening to the worst case scenario. You're listening on the other side of the room, right? As you can get in this room. So this is gonna be the lowest volume, the lowest bass, everything, right? So I'm gonna walk over there. As I get closer, you're gonna hear better and better quality sound. Get a better idea also of the potential. So let's hang on. This is a good level for conversation. So we're halfway across the room right now. Actually hear the bass pretty good, and that's a low bass note from here. I can definitely hear the hi-hats nice and clear. The voice is not all that clear. It's a lot of echo in this room. That's not really the speaker's fault. So I know it's not the best lighting in here, but you've got one subwoofer on this side, another subwoofer on this side, and then you have, and I think you have two tweeters here and two mid-range speakers as well. I believe it's 4 speakers in here, 2 tweeters, 2 mid-ranges, and then 2 subwoofers. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I might be incorrect about that. I'll confirm what the specifications are tomorrow. And I think my battery is going down. So let's give it a rest. Enough the booze and I like that. Only on my wrist, yeah, I like that. Drop up, I don't like that. My money sick. That is the JBL. You can pair them together with multiple speakers to get even more sound. Ridiculous right now. I'm tired. It's been a rough day. It's kind of full moon today, and I definitely had a full moon experience with the board, and then there's problems calling customer service. I called the main number, pressed the option for lost and found. The option said that this number is not going to be available until a certain time in the future. And then they said to call some other number. I called that number. I got hung up on. Call some other number. It was just ridiculous. Just to simply get to lost and found. The last thing I'm like, oh, I lost my board. Run around just to report it. Then I had another video conference and my phone was acting up. This has never happened before. The screen was going black and coming back and black and coming back, and I had to reboot the phone in the middle of the conference call just when that was ridiculous. Never happened before. And then I'm looking and I see a full moon. I'm not really one that's into superstitious things, but I don't know. Happening in one day. And then I actually crashed my Mavic for the first time. I've flown this thing a ton of times, different environments, high winds, and I crashed my Mavic. Luckily it survived. It still flies. It actually doesn't even look like it's damaged. I flew it right into the wall. And what else went wrong? Phone issue during the conference. I think that's about it. Unless you want to also include the fact that I went to the supermarket to get some stuff, and I was so hungry that I went to some other places before I got home, and snaps, and I was sitting in there just like eating all these ginger snaps. And that was a little bit insane. That was the last thing I need to do on an empty stomach, is to be eating all those ginger snaps. And I think later on, I guess because of too much sugar, I started feeling like really weird, out of it type of thing. It was just too much. I ate like half a bag of ginger snaps. Anyway, so I'll see you guys tomorrow. I'll be doing a live stream tomorrow. Lighting, talking about this Bluetooth speaker, talking about the Mavic, and some other things as well. So look forward to seeing you guys. Let me take a quick look in the chat. I see Maverick is here. He says, I was with you on the group ride on Tuesday. I'm so sad you lost it. Yeah. Nepo, but says, oh damn, is the control universal? Is the control universal? Oh damn, what were you referring to? Maverick? But I finally succeeded in destroying it. I was doing some extreme testing to see just how durable it was. You know, basically trying to break it without actually trying to break it. You know what I mean? Like I wasn't my intention wasn't to actually pay, but I did want to push the envelope. I guess you could say the point was to reveal any sort of flaws in terms of, you know, it being cheap and not very well put together. I put it in an environment where see, and it actually held up pretty well. And I broke the rules. They said just light water. You can ride in the rain, get deep into the water. I took it to the beach in the sand and rock and all this kind of stuff. And it just kept on ticking. Finally, it couldn't deal with it anymore. So I think when I really took it deep into the water, I might have ruined the circuitry or the battery or something like that. But through battery and computer, yeah, Maverick, I got nothing right now. I have the Meepo. I need the parts to swap out the parts to get it going again. And now that I've really tested it out, now I can actually like use it like a normal person, not like an idiot. You know, stop abusing it and actually enjoy it instead of just trying to sort of torture it. You know, I'm very happy with it. And in fact, you know, I was gonna get rid of the boosted anyway, frankly. I've, you know, forced my hand to make this move faster, but I was gonna get rid of the boosted. Oh, you're leaving. That's right. You're leaving for Cali this week. I guess not. So you're leaving next week. Yeah, man, that would have been awesome, dude. But it sucks, man. This really sucks. But what you gonna do? You know what the good part of it is? I can start working out again because I have been sick. No walk. I used to do so much walking, man. So many miles a day, walking, riding, bicycle. And then I got this damn Meepo board, and I stopped all the time. I was having so much fun and walking time. I was instead, you know, spending it on this Meepo board, and I've been really, really busy at work, so I'm just like working really hard. I'm not getting the sleep that I should be getting. I'm not eating properly, and then I'm not doing any exercise at all. All I'm doing is grinning, you know, on this damn Meepo. And then I got the boosted, same thing. I'm just every day on this boosted board. I start out my morning and it's like, got my tunes on, I'm doing my carving, all the people waiting at the bus stop for the bus, and I'm just like flying by on this damn thing, you know, and just enjoying it, going up my little hill, carving up my hill, and there's crossing guards that I see in the morning, and they love it, man. They're always like smiling and like waving and laughing for me and stuff like that. A couple of crossing guards I run into, and then here's an interesting thing: the difference between the Meepo and a boosted. So on the Meepo, I do the same ride, and then I get to the train station. Then that's my play time in the morning. So I will literally at the train station, I am just back and forth, carving, getting down real low on the board. I mean, getting a real workout in terms of not like a real workout. My knees and my legs, I mean, I actually get a little burn going because of all the low. I'm just back and forth. I'm carving to the beat. And I'm just having a blast, just back and forth, fast and slow, and me on the Meepo. Me on the boosted, as soon as I get to the train station, I put that thing away, or if there's enough time, anytime at all, more than 5 minutes, I'm plugging that damn thing in. About whenever I arrive at the end of any trip on the boosted is, I gotta plug this damn thing in. I was not thinking about that on the Meepo. I do my ride, same ride, topping out at 22. I get to the train station and I'm having fun. And sometimes it could be I just missed a train. It might be minutes, more than that, 10, 15, 20 minutes, just having fun on the board. And, you know, I will actually ride it again. So, you know, I would comfortably put on, I don't know, 4, 5 miles on it. I don't know. I'm actually not accounting for all the back and forth playing around the train station, but who knows? It could be 5 miles or more. And I'm not even thinking about battery. I do not think about battery. Office, I'll charge it up. And I know I will definitely make it to the office, so I'm not worried. Oh my goodness, always worried about it. So yeah, I was gonna get rid of it anyway, but the plan was not to get rid of it by, but anyway, this stream has gone on longer than it should. I am going to say good night to you guys. Damien says the booster board control, is it cordless? Yes, it is. If it gets sent in for servers ever, they will know it's stolen and you'll get it back eventually. That on the forum, so I'm definitely going to do that. So about the control, talking about this stuff, some of the things I didn't like. Is of my fault. So I fell 3 times. That plush flex that people brag about is why I fell. I know this lighting sucks. I don't know if it's better over here or whatever. Talk about this plush. Whatever. People talk about the plush ride. The plush ride is actually the first thing that made me fall. I went down a hill that was extremely bad, but pretty bad in terms of how rough it was. So the thing about it is they talk about the flex. It has lots of flex. Well, flex is like a spring. Spring is, you know, this you know, boing, you know. So you don't want that while you're on a skateboard, right? Be, you know, dropping you down and throwing you up and dropping you down. I'm exaggerating it, but that's the basic effect. Bumps, and I guess those bumps caused me to go up, and the board's flexing up and down, and that's throwing me off. Imagine you're trying to balance on a board, you up on a plank, right, of some sort, and you're standing on this thing, real good, nice and steady, and then one of the guys just randomly tilts the board this way and then tilts it that way. And that's going to throw you off, because when they move this way, you're going to be like, whoa, and you got to move this way, and then somebody moves the other way, and you're like, whoa. Unexpected movement that you need to be able to compensate for, you know, quickly. Otherwise, you know, you can lose your balance. So anyway, that's the first reason that I fell. The second fall was, I remember that one. Yeah, so the last 2 falls were because of the remote. Put as responsibility why responsibility as well. But the point is, crashes or falls did not really crash. Last 2 falls, Meepo. Take some of the blame. It would have not happened on the Meepo. The way the Meepo remote is designed, these things would not happen. So what happened? It was definitely a sign of the boosted. The boosted doesn't really have brakes. The boosted board has it for you to reverse the throttle. So in order for you to slow down, instead of, you know, what you do is it's like reverse thrust, like a jet uses, right? So instead of braking, what you do is you reverse the direction of the wheels. That sounds kind of crazy. We're not talking about you're going forward and it's going to break traction to spin. Because if you're going forward, the only way for it to turn the other way is for it to break traction, right? You right away, it has that kind of grip. But the energy that's trying to reverse the direction of the wheels, that creates friction. You sort of, push the throttle in reverse, the more quickly you stop. But you have to remember, that's not brakes. That's reverse thrust. Let's call it that. So that means to reduce the amount of reverse thrust you have, how slow you get. Point is, if you stay on the brakes hard, right? Come to a stop, you're going to rapidly accelerate in the reverse direction. Because remember, that's what you're saying. You're saying, I want to go backwards. So it has to fight your forward momentum, and by fighting your forward momentum, it slows you to a stop. And then once you stop, there's nothing fighting it, so then it'll move you backwards. So that's understanding that, that's how I felt. I'm waiting at the red light at an intersection. I must have been on one of those slopes, and I was trying to use the brake, stop me from going down, and the board has a lot of torque, so I must have applied too much brake, which normally wouldn't be that big of a deal. Even on the Meepo, which can be sensitive with the braking, easily hop off the board forward and that'd be good. With the board going backwards with high levels of torque, that's really difficult to sort of come back from. You know what I mean? In terms of my ability to take that and not fall is very, because I'm standing on a board that's moving backward suddenly with a high level of torque. Really, I'm not really set up in terms of how I'm standing to really fight that. So I held the brake, and then all of a sudden the board shoots backwards. I go forward, fall on the ground. So that was the first from that. I had a, oh, that was here. So I scuffed up my elbow. Batman day. So I actually was wearing full armor that day. In the office, I took off the full body armor. So the full body armor has elbow armor, and there's right here. It has armor all over. There's actually armor here and here and here, but I didn't have that on. I was crazy. The day that I had all this armor, it just so happens I went out on my lunch break wearing the back and chest protector, falling and scuffing up my elbow, and that was the first, not a big deal, but that was my first shedding of skin. The final fall was one night I was a Starbucks that was near like a very steep hill. I was fully charged up, and I really wanted to sort of experience again, go up a hill, because there's lots of torque and this thing really screams up the hill. So I was like, let me see on a full charge what it's like to just go cranking up the hill. I leave and I start going up the hill. I go full speed as the hill begins, right? And then I make it about 20 feet and I say, wait a minute. There's an app that I have that tracks like your speed and your altitude and all this kind of stuff. That's good metrics for my review, right? So I say, what are you doing, dude? You're gonna do a steep hill climb at this speed and you're not gonna record any data? Let me go back down the hill. So I'm screaming up this hill, go up maybe 20 feet, and I decide I'm going to change direction, and I roll off that throttle. Now the board is very torquey, so what can happen? Again, this is a byproduct of how the throttle is designed. If you roll off the throttle very quickly on that torquey board, an effect that is similar to braking. It's almost like on a stick shift vehicle when you downshift and you have all that sort of engine braking going on. So you have a similar effect like that. So imagine you're going up a hill very fast, 16 miles per hour probably, and you're leaning forward because you're going up so aggressively and you're going up a hill, so I'm leaning forward. you get this like engine braking effect as I roll off the throttle aggressively. So so at first, the motion is pushing me back as I'm going up the hill, so I'm leaning forward against it. It's like, so I basically fall flat in front of me. I got this. I peeled off a big on my thumb. I don't know, 3 millimeters wide or something like that. Stuffed up another part of my elbow. And I had the idea of maybe this half-finger glove. It's good that I was wearing half-finger gloves, not half-finger gloves, but the gloves that I wear are wrist protection. So, you know, I have no injuries with my wrist. I didn't sprain my wrist or anything like that because, again, I had these wrist guards, but they're half-finger wrist guards. It's like a glove type of thing, but with wrist guards in them, but it's half-finger. So my thumb was exposed, and that's how I got that cut. So I could have avoided that injury with finger gloves. As far as this injury, it's just a matter of I would have to have been wearing some kind of a elbow protection. Serious, I mean, it could have been a lot worse. So I don't know where it is. You guys can't even see it, it's so dark. That's how bad it is. But basically, this is the cut from at the light. And somewhere around here, there's another cut from that last fall. 3 falls in a week, and then I lose it on the... Anyway, on that note, thank you guys for joining in. I see someone else just joined in. Who do we have here? Artemis. Why did I say Artemis? I'm really tired, guys. I'm really tired. I apologize. Artemis Jones. Sorry that I fell. Yeah. You know, it's that's life. You know, you can. You know, I never experienced anything, or you can go out there and take chances. I mean, use some logic. I'm not saying go out there and be crazy and YOLO, but you know, go out there and try to be smart about it. I really should be wearing helmets. I know I don't wear helmets. That's a stupid thing on my part. Is I try to be defensive enough in my riding strategy. And I realize that this is kind of foolish to a degree, but I try to ride defensively to a point where the odds of me falling and hitting my head are significantly reduced. It's just like being on a motorcycle. They're dangerous no matter what gear you wear, but I ride so defensively that, I mean, that's why, you know, I've never crashed into a car, never been in a hospital because of motorcycle riding fast. Not because I'm that good. That is my defensive riding. As you want, sometimes things just happen. So I do appreciate that. But I do wear full gear on the motorcycle, but the board, I've been really just with the wrist guards, knee pads, but you know, I really should be wearing the helmets. But again, I'm not just out there just doing whatever and it's like I don't care. I'm just gonna get on the board and just like YOLO. I mean, I do think about safety, the plan and strategy, the method to the madness. Now, I'm not saying it's perfect. I'm not saying it's the best thing or the best way, but I'm not just doing whatever. It's like, whatever, you know, YOLO. You know, if it's meant to happen, it's gonna happen. Whatever. You know, I don't have that approach. Anyway. On that note, thanks for joining in, Artemis, Maverick. I'll see you guys tomorrow with more about the boosted board, the Maple board, the DJI Mavic, my Bluetooth speaker powerhouse, the Extreme L. stream. All right, so good night, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, what? Boom, 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 boom. I got sunshine. And then I don't know how that song goes. Let's crank up the Bluetooth. I gotta go out on a musical note. All right, let's crank it up. Crank it up. 2 Chainz. You're like, this guy is crazy. He is talking crazy. He is like right now. Oh.
All this strip club ever.
Oh.
It's another one. I got that juice. New AP. She got that juice. She got that squeeze. She got that wet. I'm on them skis. I got that drip. I'm overseas. BRIPPING. I got that BBSICE. Feel like a cool.